Let's talk about resentment. Resentment doesn't feel good, right? It kind of feels icky and heavy, burdensome. It can bring up a lot of anger, rage, grief, sadness, helplessness. But resentment is defined as a bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. It's indicative that there's some injustice that has occurred. So, in this way, resentment is important feedback for us. We have to be with it enough to acknowledge what are the fears beneath and what is the resentment trying to tell us. Resentment can tell us about an unmet need that we have or a boundary that was crossed that needs to be asserted or maintained or communicated or clarified for us. And it's important to see resentment as feedback that gives us insight into our needs or boundaries so that we don't judge ourselves for feeling resentful sometimes. Because ain't nobody need to add more pain on top of the already existing pain that resentment is. So the next time you're feeling resentment, try this practice that I learned from Anna Runkle, who shares a lot around childhood CPTSD and recovery. She shares this formula on working with our resentment. I feel resentment against or with or at this person or situation because I fear. For example, I feel resentment at my brother because I fear that if I never call him, he will never call me. I feel resentment at having to pay my taxes because I fear that by doing so, I am perpetuating genocide. I resent the systems of patriarchy because I fear that it leaves me powerless and misunderstood. It takes a lot to uncover the fear beneath resentment. So much of the time we are automatically feeling resentful, blaming what we feel resentful for, and not acknowledging the primal fear beneath. To recognize the primal fear beneath is to go a level deeper and get closer to the root. To recognize the root fears of our resentments is to acknowledge just how human we are, how we have needs, how we have boundaries, how there have been injustices, however small. What this practice has taught me is that the smallest things bring up resentment in me, and I'm okay with that because I have a way of clearing my resentments, acknowledging my fears, and thereby having a more direct route to care for those fears and get those needs met than I ever have just reacting and judging my resentment. If you want support with this, check out the Chetna Unfolding Substack, where I go more into details with this practice. Check out Anna Runkle's resources, or just reach out and get support with this, because resentment can brew for a very long time, and then we become bitter people, and ain't nobody need more bitter people on the planet, y'all.